Have you ever reflected on how intimacy evolves with age? Many of us associate passion with youth. But what happens when time alters our bodies and our relationships? In today's video, we will explore a deeply personal topic that affects so many people. How the natural changes in our bodies, especially in men, can influence intimacy and connection over the years. Stay with us until the end, because I will share the wisdom I have gained through my own experiences, offering perspectives on how to navigate these changes together with love, understanding, and a deep connection. You will discover why these transformations should not mean the end of intimacy, but can open the door to a deeper and more meaningful connection. So if you want your relationship to thrive, regardless of age, keep watching the video. If you're not subscribed yet, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support is very important to me. And if you like this video, you can help me continue sharing these valuable lessons by liking and sharing them. Over the years, I have learned something profoundly important, something that has given me true serenity in my intimate life. Intimacy and the joy of human connection can persist even amidst the physical transformations we all undergo with time. It is a valuable truth that I would like to share with a perspective full of hope and positivity, and some practical tips that have allowed my husband and me to go through this new phase of our life as a couple in a natural and enriching way. Beyond appearances and social expectations, what truly matters, what makes all the difference in a relationship, is the deep bond we cultivate and the mutual care we give each other. These are the things that transcend time and trials. And believe me, these natural transformations are by no means an obstacle to growth, joy, and pleasure in a relationship. I remember our youth, that time when our intimacy was vibrant, full of palpable energy, a flame that seemed inexhaustible. When I think of the early days of our relationship, I remember the confidence he radiated, his vitality that lit up our moments together. We were young and carefree, and our bodies responded easily to our desires, with a strength and energy that seemed inexhaustible. Our nights together were filled with passion, and every touch, every kiss, was a promise of moments of rare intensity. At the beginning of our marriage, our intimate life seemed to be an extension of that overflowing energy, fluid, almost effortless. It was a strong physical bond associated with our youth and the strength of our bodies. But of course, time does its work. Like everyone, we saw how those moments evolved, changed, and transformed in ways we had not anticipated. The first sign of these changes appeared subtly. At first, it was hardly noticeable, an erection that was no longer as firm as before. We tried to ignore it, thinking it was a matter of fatigue, stress, or simple passing setbacks. However, over time, it became evident that it was not just a temporary episode. These moments became more persistent, and sometimes his erection would disappear before we could fully enjoy what we shared in intimacy. It was a small blow, a reality we had not seen coming. Yet that did not mean the end of our connection. What I understood is that what was happening physically did not come to break our emotional and spiritual bond. It allowed us to reevaluate what intimacy meant to us, to explore new dimensions of our relationship. Physical changes such as slight size adjustments also made their appearance. Although these changes seemed minor, I cannot deny that they had an impact. There was a sense of novelty, sometimes discomfort, but I quickly realized that this did not define who we were or the quality of our relationship. On the contrary, it allowed us to adopt a new form of connection, gentler, more patient, and incredibly intimate in a way we never could have imagined in our early years together. Today, my husband and I have learned to embrace this new reality. We understood that intimacy is not about performance, but about the attention we give each other and the way we listen and support each other. These transformations, although they planted seeds of uncertainty, have opened the door to even deeper intimacy, enriched by sincere exchanges, tender gestures, and a love that is not defined by appearance, but by the quality of the bond we cultivate every day. And that, friends, is what truly matters. To help you experience a more fulfilling and enriching sexual life, I have decided to make available a digital book titled Rediscovering Intimacy: Healthy Sexuality After 60. This guide is full of practical advice, designed to strengthen the bonds in your relationship, overcome emotional and physical challenges, and most importantly, provide you with effective solutions to reignite passion and intimacy in your marriage. It is a true invitation to rediscover your complicity and transform shared moments. I invite you to check the pinned comment to get your copy. However, keep in mind that copies are limited, so don't miss this unique opportunity to renew and revitalize your love and emotional life. I still remember our first conversation about this topic. It was a moment full of meaning, both difficult and precious. The man I always saw as so confident, suddenly seemed vulnerable. There was a palpable discomfort, a kind of unease in his eyes, as if he was ashamed of not being who he was before. He was a strong man, a man who had always been there, who had always been my support with the certainty of being able to face anything. And there, I saw him destabilized, worried, as if he feared disappointing me, as if he feared making me feel that he was no longer the man he had been. That silent worry he carried created an abyss between us, an invisible distance that weighed on our relationship, as if the mere mention of these changes could break something valuable. He avoided the topic and preferred to stay silent to avoid causing me pain. However, deep down, I knew that those moments of vulnerability were equally valuable, though difficult to face. By allowing ourselves to confront this reality together, and by taking the time to talk openly and honestly, we began to find new ways to connect. And what a revelation that was! We discovered aspects of our relationship that were previously unknown to us, ways to keep intimacy alive, even though it was no longer expressed in the same way, more sensitive, gentler. This process was a rediscovery of each other, a redefinition of what it means to be intimate, more deeply and emotionally. Seeing my husband, the one I always thought of as unbreakable, show such insecurity moved me. I felt a wave of compassion and tenderness toward him because I never imagined he could feel that way. But at the same time, it strengthened my love for him because I understood that our relationship, this beautiful story we have built together over the years, was based on much more than moments of physical passion. What bound us, what made our relationship strong, was the sincere love we cultivated day after day, the small attentions, tender gestures, and above all, the emotional closeness that allowed us to overcome all trials. It was in this closeness, in this shared vulnerability, that our relationship acquired a new dimension, deeper, richer. And it was a true gift to be able to rediscover intimacy under a new light, enriching it with each exchange, each word, each knowing glance. Thanks to in-depth research and my reflection, I discovered something deeply reassuring. It is completely normal for the body to lose some elasticity over time, and this reality affects everyone without exception. Hormonal changes and slower blood circulation are inevitable phenomena that accompany aging, and it is a truth we must accept. Yes, these changes can affect the size and firmness of the penis, but it is essential to understand that these adjustments are not signs of decline, but natural stages of the aging process. They do not define what intimacy should be in a couple, and in my eyes, that does not determine the quality of the relationship. I remember one particular night, after a quiet dinner, where the atmosphere was relaxed and we both felt at ease. I knew it was the ideal moment to address this delicate topic, a moment when we could truly listen to and understand each other. I sat next to him, gently took his hand, and spoke to him with all the tenderness I carried in my heart. I told him that I perfectly understood what was happening and that there was nothing to be ashamed of. I explained that our bodies inevitably evolve, that this phenomenon is part of life, and that there is nothing abnormal or shameful about it. But above all, I repeated that what truly mattered to me was the incredible person he had always been, and that my love for him did not depend on his physical appearance, but on his essence, his kindness, wisdom, and all those traits that made me love him even more over the years. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment the number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video. At that moment, something changed between us, a kind of liberation, a new complicity. We began to appreciate affection, companionship, and closeness in a different way, gentler, more authentic. We discovered together new ways to enjoy intimacy, which no longer depended on a simple erection, but on tenderness, listening, and sharing. Little by little, we learned to value our relationship more deeply, appreciating every gesture, every smile, every moment together without pressure. What was once considered a goal to achieve became a series of small expressions of love. Prolonged hugs, kisses full of tenderness, and sincere affection became as important as the orgasm itself. This change in perspective allowed us to discover a new form of connection, much richer, more emotional, and gentler. Over time, and especially thanks to this new approach, I saw my husband rediscover himself. Gradually, he regained confidence in himself, accepting and celebrating the natural changes in his body. It was not a loss, but an evolution toward a more true and present form of intimacy. Far from distancing us, these moments of vulnerability have strengthened our bond, teaching us to love each other in a purer, more conscious, and deeper way than ever before. I saw in his eyes what I always knew. Our relationship was not defined by the body, but by the love and trust we have built together over the years. And that love and friends have no age. Our bond was no longer based on the expectations of youth, on the idea that intimacy must always follow a certain pattern, a performance ideal. On the contrary, we discovered a renewed pleasure, more authentic, by focusing on the true mutual connection and the exchange of pleasure that each one contributed to the other. Little by little, we learned that true intimacy goes far beyond the pursuit of specific moments. It resides in the way we treat each other, in the delicacy of our gestures, in the attentive listening of the other, and in the unwavering support we give each other day after day. It is in this consistency, in this comforting presence, where the true depth of a relationship resides, whether in happy moments or facing the inevitable challenges that aging imposes. These changes, instead of distancing us, have brought unprecedented richness to our bond and a deeper understanding of what it truly means to be together. Society, unfortunately, often pushes men to maintain a constant image of virility, a facade of unbreakable strength. But we realize that, in the end, what matters, what nourishes a relationship is love, companionship, and above all, the complicity that grows over time. It is this unconditional love that builds a true connection, the one that turns every shared moment into something valuable. The constant pressure to maintain a strong image can become a burden, especially when the body begins to change inevitably. But something I would like every man to know deep within himself is that his worth is not measured by the size of his penis or the firmness of his erections. These physical aspects, although sometimes valued by society, do not influence the beauty of a relationship. What matters, what makes a man worthy of being loved, is how he loves, cares for the other, and connects emotionally with his partner. It is that connection that builds invisible but solid bridges between two souls. Today, with the years that have allowed us to accumulate experience and wisdom, I can confidently state that sex and maturity can be even more rewarding than what youth offers. Over time, we gain patience, understanding, and above all, sensitivity to respond to each other's needs. This new phase of our lives allows us to enjoy every shared moment without the pressure of achieving a particular goal, without rushing to reach an end. What is truly valuable is focusing on the pure pleasure of touch, on the sweetness of connection, and on the intensity of the moments lived together with calm and serenity. Little by little, we learn to see our bodies in a more welcoming, softer, and less critical light. When we were young, we tended to focus on perfect appearance, on maximum performance, but over time, we learn to value our bodies not for their perfection, but for what they represent. They are living witnesses of a history of experiences, efforts, and above all, shared love. It is our bodies, imperfect but rich in memories and tenderness, that connect us to what we have lived together, and that is what seems most beautiful to us today. Each of my wrinkles carries a deep meaning, a testament to the years lived, to laughter, tears, and moments shared with those I love. And the marks that adorn my husband's body also have their own story. These small changes, which have appeared on our skin over time, have become symbols of our shared journey, indelible traces of the experiences and challenges we have faced together. At the end of the day, these memories, these traces of our shared life, are what truly matter. The aged body becomes a kind of map, each line, each wrinkle being a stage of a journey made of love, struggle, growth, and also happiness. These changes are not signs of loss, but of victory. A victory over time, over trials, and over the fact that we have gone through all this together, hand in hand. Instead of seeing them with frustration, as many do when thinking about lost youth, we have learned to view these transformations with deep gratitude. Each wrinkle, each small mark that adorns our skin becomes a testament to resilience. They tell a story of love, sacrifice, mutual support, and learning. Those moments when we learn to grow together, to face life side by side. These changes are, in reality, a celebration of our journey. They are not signs of decline, but symbols of everything we have lived, of the beauty that resides in growing old together. We have learned to embrace these transformations gently, to honor them as an integral part of our story. Little by little, my husband began to see his body differently. He realized that the size of his penis, which he once perceived as a symbol of virility, was just a small part of the man he is. He was not defined by that. It was just one aspect among many others of his body that, like him, had changed over time. And that was perfectly normal. By letting go of the societal pressures that push us to maintain a perfect image, he regained confidence in himself that was now much more authentic, much more anchored in the reality of who he truly is. A confidence that no longer rested on appearance, performance, or external expectations, but on the total acceptance of himself, in all his beauty and vulnerability. That is the deepest and most serene confidence that truly transformed our relationship and strengthened our bond. He accepted his body as it is, with its marks and its stories, just as he always accepted me, with all my complexity and beauty, including aging. And that acceptance is what constitutes true strength. Reflecting on the beauty of aging, intimacy, and self-acceptance, I hope you have gained a deeper understanding of how our bodies and our relationships evolve. We have learned that it's not about pursuing perfection, but about accepting the changes that come with love, patience, and gratitude. The true essence of intimacy resides in the connection, not in performance. So, what have you learned so far from this conversation? How can you apply these lessons to your own life and relationships? I would love to hear your opinion. Please comment below and share one thing you have learned and plan to put into practice in your life. Your comments are very valuable. If you like this video, leave your comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. By doing so, you will continue to be part of our growing community, and together we can explore other topics that interest you. Thank you.